In this video, we are looking at one of FastAPI's most powerful ideas, dependency injection using depends. It sounds academic, but the core concept is simple. You describe what your route needs, and FastAPI goes and gets it for you. By the end, you will know exactly how to use it and when it is the right tool. Imagine you have 10 routes and every single one needs to open a database session, validate an auth token, and parse the same pagination query parameters. You end up copying that setup code into each function. Now, a bug in the session handling logic means 10 places to fix, and your root functions are bloated with setup that has nothing to do with their actual job. That is the pain dependency injection is designed to remove. Think of a professional kitchen. The chef never stops mid-service to fetch ingredients from the storeroom. A prep cook handles all of that before the rush starts. When an order arrives, everything the chef needs is already on the counter. FastAPI's dependency system is your prep cook. It runs setup logic before your root function is called and delivers the result directly into your function's hands. A dependency in FastAPI First's world is simply a callable, usually a plain Python function that FastAPI knows it should run on your behalf. You signal this by wrapping it in depends and placing it in your route function's signature as a parameter. When a request arrives, FastAPI calls the dependency, takes whatever it returns, and passes that value into your route function as that parameter. Dependencies can even depend on other dependencies, so you can build layered reusable logic without any duplication. Let us walk through this top to bottom. We define get_pagination as a regular function that declares skip and limit as query parameters. FastAPI reads those from the request URL, just like it would in a route. If limit is too large, we raise an HTTP exception, otherwise we return a dict. Next, we create a type alias called pagination using annotated, pairing the dict type with depends of get_pagination. This is the clean modern way to attach a dependency. In list_items, the parameter pagination is typed as pagination, so FastAPI calls get_pagination for us, validates the inputs, and passes the return dict straight into our function. The list_users route does exactly the same thing with zero extra code. One definition, used in two places, with the validation logic living in exactly one spot. When your app starts, FastAPI reads the signatures of all your root functions and builds a dependency graph. When a real request comes in, FastAPI walks that graph, resolves each dependency from the outermost layer inward, and only then calls your root function with everything already prepared. Importantly, if the same dependency appears more than once in a request graph, FastAPI calls it only once and reuses the result, that is the per request cache. If a dependency raises an HTTP exception, FastAPI returns the error response immediately, and your route function never runs. Depends shines whenever the same setup code would appear in multiple routes. Database sessions, auth token validation, and shared query parameter passing are the textbook cases. It also makes that logic easy to test in isolation. But do not reach for it reflexively. If a piece of logic lives in exactly one route, just write it in line. The extra layer of indirection costs readability without buying you anything. And if your dependency graph grows so deep that a new reader cannot easily trace what a route actually does, that is a signal to simplify. To recap, a dependency is just a callable that FastAPI runs on your behalf before your route function executes. You declare it using depends, FastAPI resolves it, and hands the result in as a parameter. Because it is called once per request and reused, it is both efficient and consistent. Reach for it whenever you find yourself repeating setup logic across routes, and keep individual dependencies small and focused so your code stays easy to follow.